Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2023 Nissan Versa in the SR trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 205/50 Continental tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has ventilated disc brakes in the front and drum brakes in the back. The name of this color is Electric Blue Metallic, and really like it. Really like this color. I've always liked the kind of vibrant blue colors on vehicles. Matter of fact, I had a Acura RSX that had a color similar to this. So here on the front, it has the fairly new Nissan badging. It has the SR badge as well in that gloss black grille. They also kind of mixed in some chrome accents as well. No fog lights, but it does have a multi-reflector headlight system, and I have a full night video on this vehicle if you want to check it out. And it does have the radar adaptive cruise control system as well. Looking at the profile of the vehicle, it does have the body colored handles. Side mirrors are a gloss black, and then the pillar here is a matte black. So it kind of solidifies the glass a little bit, especially considering if you were to tint the windows. Now it has that what they call a floating roof back here, which is basically just a black section that connects the rear glass to the front glass. This is what the key looks like, and it's the fairly new Nissan key, and it's relatively thin, lightweight. It has some size to it though. It's a little bit more bulky than the previous generation of keys. But it does have the remote start, lock, unlock, the ability to release the trunk, and a panic button here. Let's press that panic button. So it kind of has like a BP horn, which is pretty typical for these type of vehicles. But generally, you can just keep this key in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. You don't have to take it out. So as long as you have the key on the outside of the vehicle, you just press this button to lock or unlock. It just alternates. So lock the doors, push it again, unlock. And then you do have a physical key location here on the driver's side only. The inside of the passenger door, it does have some stitching here on the armrest, which is looking pretty cool. Most of the door is a hard touch. You do have the soft touch here, which is kind of like a vinyl type material there for the armrest. And also you have some, what appears to be what they're going for is a carbon fiber look here on the vehicle in different places. But that looks pretty awesome. It actually does look pretty decent. And there's a little tiny pocket right there, and then a larger pocket at the bottom. It has an illuminated seal plate with the Versa name, and you can see it in my night video. Manually adjusted seats here on the passenger side, and they are cloth, and it has some accents as well. Floor mat hooks in place in a single spot here on the passenger side, and pretty decent amount of legroom as well. Hard touch surfaces most everywhere here at the bottom, and then it has a non-locking glove compartment, which is pretty good size actually. And smooth plastic on the inside, but it's not dampened or anything. It just kind of flops down, which is not really a problem. Now this is have some more stitching here, vinyl type material here that's soft touch, and then you have a hard touch non-reflective dash. You see the opening is pretty good here in the front. Lots of legroom, headroom, getting in and out of the vehicle. And the back is basically the same except for the bottom part. The headroom's great. The bottom part is a little bit of a squeeze. The swing of the door is okay. The swing of the door is nice on the front. So actually not too bad. Now we have basically the same styling here on the back door. Very similar. Only soft touches here, and then it has a stitching and the carbon fiber look here. This has a neat little seal plate there in the threshold. Back seat is just a real basic bench seat. A little bit of bolstering there on the sides. It does have the latch system for car seats, which you can access the places right there, the attachments. There's no center armrest or anything like that, and it has a matte pocket here on the back of the passenger seat. There is a single USB-C charge port there in the center. A little bit of a hump there. And this floor kind of goes down, kind of help you out with legroom. But as you can see with my seat adjustment, it kind of diminishes the, for the driver's seat, it diminishes the rear passenger seat. So depending on where you put the seats and how you have them positioned will be, you know, to kind of allow you for different levels of room in the back, I guess you can say. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it has a body-colored shark fin antenna here at the top. The third brake light is at the base of the glass here. There is a deck lid spoiler, body-colored here as well. I have the SR badging. The backup camera is a little bit offset, kind of tacked on looking right here, but at least it has one. It does have parking sensors back here and a more of that carbon fiber, simulated carbon fiber portion here in the back, and simulated diffusers down here as well. Kind of looks like the SR is trying to go for the sportier look. Tail lights are mostly halogen bulbs back here, and you can see those in the night video. So it does have the release on the key, or you can push a button under here to release it. You see there's the backup camera, there's the release there. It is carpeted on the underside. Here's the trunk space, and it's pretty impressive actually as far as how much space you have here. Now you do have some exposed wires and metal and all that stuff going on. There is a single light, not all that great, but it could be improved. Then you have the basically carpeted there on the sides, here and here. This floor like cardboard piece or press board piece lifts up, and you have additional space under here with a tools and spare tire. And you can fold these seats down to add to your cargo space. 60-40 split, so you can, now they're not level with the back, but it does give you the ability to add to your cargo space. There is a locking fuel door, and the fuel door is here on the driver's side. It has a traditional cap, tether, and place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Starting it up, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, press and hold the brake, and press this button right here. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now the floor mat hooks in place in two places here, keeping it straight and from sliding around on you. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and a very mild footrest there on the left side. It's okay, but it could be improved. Let's take a look under the hood. To open the hood, there's a latch a little bit to the left of center. So right in here, there's a center part, just a little bit to the left of that. Just reach in, lift up on it, and then you can lift up on the hood. So you can see it right here is what you're doing. It does require a prop to hold the hood up. There's the prop there on the underside of the hood. It swings down and goes right where the arrow's pointing. There's insulation there on the underside of the hood. There's also seals across the back to help out with the airflow and noise. There's also an insulated firewall and some heat shielding as well, because the exhaust is in the back there. The intake is here in the front. Now the orientation of the engine is a front wheel drive vehicle, so there's the front of the engine, there's the back of the engine. The exhaust is here, intake is here. It does have an insulated battery as well. Now this does have the blind spot detection system, and the indicator is right here in the side mirror. The driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Now the only one touch button is the driver button. So all the rest of them, you do have to hold them. And the back windows go all the way down, which is good. Now the door lock controls are not illuminated at night, so it's a little bit awkward when you're not familiar with the vehicle trying to find them. And then the side mirrors are adjusted here. Manually adjust the seat, but it does have a height adjustment here on the driver's side. To the left of the steering column, there's a little pocket right in here, which is handy. And this is where we found the hood release and the fuel door release. There's also a trunk release down here. It also has a tilt and a telescoping steering column. And you can lock it in place right there. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here in the front. It does have a little bit of an issue right here sometimes with me driving. Here on the left side, not really a problem at all. And I do kind of have to have the seat all the way back to drive it. So if you're over 6 feet tall, you might want to get in there and make sure that you can you know, fit in here nicely. Also take into consideration the amount you have to put the seat back, which will diminish your rear seat passenger room. So, you know, bring your family and everybody, get in the vehicle, make sure you can fit in this one. It's not overly small, but I mean, it's, you know, it's one of those type of vehicles where you have to make compromises sometimes. So it does has it says on the window sticker, this is a leather wrap steering wheel. So I'm assuming this is genuine leather. Has a stitching here on the inside, flat bottom, and looks really nice, fairly comfortable. It's relatively hard. It's not a soft steering wheel, but I hadn't had really an issue. But it does have a little bit of a grip. It looks nice. And here on the right side is the cruise control, and it has the adaptive cruise control. You turn it on, set, resume, cancel, set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you right there. There's no lane keep assist system, but there is a lane departure warning system. Voice recognition, and then you use the single button to answer calls or hang up on calls. So that's the single button there for the Bluetooth system. Here on the left side is the volume for the radio, change to the tracks, and then this OK, these arrows, and this back button corresponds with the screen. We'll get to that in a minute. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side, pretty basic. Turn signal here on the left side, does have the headlight switch, off, parking, headlights on, and then automatic, and it also has automatic high beams as well. So here's the gauges, and it's basically a combination of, let me turn the brightness down a little bit here. A little bit of a glare going on the screen. I don't see it with my eyes, but the camera's picking it up. So there's a physical speedometer here on the right side, and it has a tachometer with the range and different information here on the left side with the fuel gauge as well there at the bottom. Now it does show the outside temperature, time, odometer here. Use this button right here to access the trips, which will replace the odometer. Press it again. You have two different trips. You can reset those independently. You can also turn this dial here to adjust the brightness of the screen. I showed that in the night video. But using the buttons on the steering wheel, you can scroll up and down, left and right, and we can get more information here on this little screen out here on the left side. You have settings in here as well. And some screens you go up and down, some of them you just go to the next one. And you can make selections here as well. The touchscreen here in the center does have physical buttons on the outside, around the outside here, and so you can quickly go to the home screen. You do have a separate phone button here as well. Audio, quick access here, change to the tracks, physical volume knob, tune through the stations. You have a back button, you have quick access to settings, day and night mode, you can go into that, and then you have a camera button, which on this one it just basically takes you into the camera settings. On other models it'll take you to the actual camera itself, and you can view around the vehicle. You can customize this home screen similar to a cell phone where it has these widgets and little icons here. And you have the icons here at the bottom with your phone, the audio, which you have your different audio sources now pull up, different connections for Bluetooth, information about the vehicle, and then you have your settings here that you can quickly access as well. Now this day and night mode also, you can just hit it and it takes you straight to the brightness. So the brightness will show up here, because there's certain times in which the brightness was kind of an issue. So I had to, you know, go into the settings, but then it was easier just to press that button to quickly get to the brightness or change the screen brightness, especially at nighttime. There's the climate control, temperature, fan speed, where you want the air to blow, front and rear defrosters. It does have a two-stage heated seat for the driver and passenger here on the front as well, and an automatic, which is really handy. 12-volt power supply, USB-C, regular USB ports here as well, and then a wireless charger for your cell phone right there, and it's kind of rubberized as well. There's the start button, which we saw. Here's the shifter. Now it has this button right here. This is to toggle sport mode, but you do have to put it in gear for that. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. Two things will happen. The parking sensors will be activated, showing on this screen, and then you'll have the backup camera here. and you can see from the bumper to the sky and all around, it's pretty good. It does have the active guidelines as well. As you turn the steering wheel, you can see those lines giving you the estimated trajectory of the vehicle as you back up. There's neutral, drive, and this is where you can toggle sport mode. Press that button there, and it basically just shows that it has a D and an S next to it, and then a D. So it just toggles on and off. And then it also has a low range, so if you're going down a steep grade, a steep hill, and you need some engine braking, you can put it in that low range as well. It does have a hand brake, which is really good. I prefer this over electronic parking brake, because this is also could be used in emergency, and you have control over the level of pressure that you apply to the rear brakes. So a hand brake parking brake can be safer as far as from my experience, safer as far as actually using it as an emergency type brake, where if your brakes fail here, the hydraulic system fails, there is redundancy. It actually has two separate chambers for the hydraulic system, but let's say that fails, the master cylinder fails or whatever, you can actually pull up on this and see it has a ratchet. Now, older people will know this, but younger people may not realize that that you press and hold this in, and you can pull up on this, and the harder you pull it, the more it applies to the brakes. So you can gently slow the vehicle down, or you can kind of pull up on it, release it, depending on your needs. So, you know, the handbrake is really good to have in an emergency situation, or just in general. Like, it's a really good, easy way, low technology, cheaper way of having a parking brake and an emergency brake. You just have to know, understand how it's used. Now, there's some cup holders here. It does have just kind of smooth plastic there on the inside. This armrest is pretty nice. It does bottom out after a few millimeters, but it's not really an issue. As you put your arm on it, there's enough surface area to where it's not uncomfortable or anything. It's kind of small, so you're not sharing it with your passengers, but it's padded here on the sides as well as the top, and it just kind of looks and feels really nice. It's kind of like a vinyl type material, looks like leather. And it releases here, and when you let go, it springs up. So it springs up, it doesn't flop back down on you, it'll completely get up out of your way. And then there is a little storage cubby here. And there's no lights or anything, unfortunately, but it does have a USB-C charge port, which is backlit, and has a little place for a wire to access that from outside the compartment. The rearview mirror is an auto-dim rearview mirror. It has the HomeLink garage door opener controls there on the underside of it. It's actually auto-dimming right now, because I have the shade over the light sensor, which is located right here, right there. And then there is a interior lights. Unfortunately, these buttons where the interior lights, where you access them, they're not backlit, so at nighttime you can't find them, even though the only time you're going to use them is when it's dark. So you could turn on these reading lights here, turn on all the interior lights, have them all off, or have them on with the door in that center position. And then there's a roadside assistance button here. Visors match the color, but they're like a vinyl type material. Headliner is like a felt, like a tennis ball type felt material, and so they match in color. But having this is really good. Having this vinyl type material is good. It's easy to clean and all that, especially since you're touching it. And then it has a mirror with no lights, a little place to put your registration or something right there. And it also extends out with this added piece. Instead of sliding out here, instead of shifting your coverage, it's adding to your coverage, which is pretty nice. Now this vehicle, it seems like there's always places for the sun to shine on my face. Like right in here it shines, so this doesn't help. And then when you put it over here, you put this over like that, the sun's always right there. So it's one of those type of vehicles on the roads I drive, the sun's always like right in my face. Looking at the visibility there in the back, not really an issue. I mean, it does have fairly wide pillars there in the back. The issue that I've had really, this does have the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, parking sensors, backup camera, all that stuff to help you out. My issue has been, as far as visibility, has been that pillar there. Sometimes it's kind of wide, and for some reason it just kind of gets in the way. Also, my seating position puts me right next to this pillar, so I kind of have to look around it a lot. So actually my visibility challenges have been more in the front than the back, which is interesting. The accelerator pedal has significant diminishing returns. So it's designed to just kind of drive around normally, but when you really accelerate, it kind of reveals that it's not a super fast car. Also, the simulated gear shifts don't help anything because they kind of, you know, take away from the acceleration slightly. But yeah, it's not really made as a, you know, 0 to 60 speed demon or anything. It's made for normal driving, and when you stay in that normal RPM range, it's fine. It feels okay. There's only occasionally, you know, I've experienced where, you know, I need to accelerate and merge in traffic or something like that, and then I got a little bit, just a little bit disappointed, I'll just say that, when I push the accelerator. But in normal driving, just kind of normal acceleration, and you're not going overboard with the RPMs, you keep it in that 3,000 range, and it's fine. You get up to speed at a reasonable rate, and you don't feel like you're just kind of, you know, falling forward when you're accelerating. So yeah, and also you got to consider this is one of the cheapest vehicles, new vehicles anyway, that you can buy, the Nissan Versa, and it's been like that for a while. It's kind of known for its, you know, good price and everything, and you're able to buy a new vehicle at a good price, relatively speaking, compared to the rest of the market. So as far as driving this, I wouldn't get your hopes up as far as it being fast and zippy and everything. It's a good, just daily driver, and that's the main point. Now the CVT, I don't know why they add the simulated gear shifts. It really does take away from the acceleration that potential, I think, that it could have had. And also, it just doesn't make any sense to have a CVT and gear shifts all in one. At higher speeds, it feels pretty stable. I'd always check that with smaller, lighter vehicles. Reason why, the first Nissan I drove was a Sentra, I think it was, in like 89 or 1990, and it had little skinny tires, and at high speed it just felt a little unstable, a little shaky, and especially with, you know, several people in the vehicle. So, you know, I mean, I know that probably hasn't been an issue in a long time, but this vehicle here feels solid on, you know, higher speeds. I don't feel any problem whatsoever. It feels like just about any other vehicle. And it does have the adaptive cruise control, but no lane keep assist or anything. It does have a lane departure warning system that you can turn on or off. And the adaptive cruise control works fairly well. It's easy to just quickly change the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. It has 3 set distances. They're a little close, but it's not a big deal. They do work well.